Okay, we are live. Oh, shoot, I was a little late. I was like 4 or 5 minutes late. Okay, hope everybody's having a great Saturday. It's beautiful here in Ohio. It's 70, 75 degrees, sunny, perfect weather. Anyways, I'm going to jump right into this question on the Danielle Redlick trial case. Let's see here. If I can get my stuff together, a little bit behind. Um, And my question for this stream is to, let's see, Justin explains everything. Okay, question is, what's my opinion? What's my view on the Danielle Redlick verdict, which was not guilty yesterday? The verdict was read. She's not guilty of murder. The only thing she was found guilty on was tampering with evidence, but that's not a serious, like that serious of an offense. She's already been in jail for 3 years since 2019. So, and I think she just got out yesterday. I think she made her bail yesterday after the not guilty verdict. Um, see here. So she should be out right now. I think she has to return back to court in August. I think like August 5th for the tampering with evidence charge, which probably won't be anything, maybe a fine or something, since she's done 3 years. But what's my opinion um, on the verdict and her being found not guilty of murder? Me personally, I don't really have a problem with the verdict. I know there's a lot of people that was upset with the not guilty verdict. Um, for those of you that don't know, back in on January 11th, which was a Friday night, 2019, almost 3.5 years ago now, Danielle Redlick and her husband Michael Redlick got into a dispute, an argument. It was domestic violence. He was supposedly, according to Danielle, he was attacking her, and he's a much bigger man than her. I mean, he's like 6'1", 250, and she grabbed a kitchen knife. According to what I'm, let's see here, double check. Yeah, she grabbed a kitchen knife, stabbed him just one time in his shoulder region around this area, just once. Then she took off running from him and hid into a bathroom for about 15 to 20 minutes, thinking that he was still coming after her when he was actually struggling at that point for his life, which she didn't know. He was bleeding out all over the place. He was drinking as well. I guess he drank pretty much every day. Um, and he ended up bleeding out, lost consciousness, collapsed on, I believe it was the living room floor. And then about 15 minutes later, she came out of the bathroom, found him. She panicked. She didn't know what to do. She didn't call 911, probably because of just complete panic mode that she was probably in. She tried to resuscitate him. It failed. It didn't work. He died right there on the floor, the living room floor. Um, and then she waited, I believe it was 11 hours to contact 911. Um, that's the reason why a lot of people was upset with her not guilty verdict yesterday, because a lot of people thought, well, she should have done more than wait 11 hours after, realizing that he was dead. But my take on the whole thing is, from everything that I saw and heard, them two had a very, very toxic relationship. They had been married for 17 years. Um, she's 20 years, 21 years younger than he is, or he was. Um, so he was a lot older than her. He had a lot more money. He was definitely the breadwinner of the house. But from everything that I was reading, they had a very toxic, violent relationship. they were always getting in fights with each other, hitting each other. Um, I guess it was common for her to grab knives to try defending herself in all their many different disputes that they've had. Um, it sounds like that particular night, January the 11th, 2019, was just another typical night for them fighting. Only on that particular night, Michael Redlick, was killed. Um, but back to my view, like what I think about the whole thing, I personally don't really have a problem with the verdict, not guilty verdict. A lot of people thought that she should have either got second degree murder or at least manslaughter. But she got the third option. Third option was not guilty. So she won. What's amazing about it is she won with public attorneys. She didn't even have, she didn't even pay for her attorney. That's pretty wild. Usually you don't get off like a murder charge with a public defendant. I find that pretty crazy that she got off with public attorney. But yeah, my view is, yeah, I think it was a horrible relationship from the things that I've read about it. I did some research on the relationship, the different testimonies during the trial, which lasted, I think it lasted a week, the trial, and finally ended yesterday, Friday afternoon. Yeah, like to be honest, I was not really against Danielle or for Danielle. I was just kind of right in the middle. I was undecided after listening to some of the testimonies, some of the reports and witnesses. I personally don't have a problem. I think that the not guilty verdict, to me, was perfectly fine. I'm sure a lot of other people would disagree and say she should have been guilty of something or charged of something. But yeah, that's my take on it. Again, I believe she is free as of right now. I believe she made bail yesterday. The only reason she had to make bail was because they still have that one charge that she has to go back to court for, and that was the tampering with evidence, because she did clean things up after she killed him. She was doing some mopping and cleaning. Instead of just dropping everything and calling 911, she did clean up a lot. So she does have to go back to court, like I said, in August 5th, I believe, for the tampering with evidence charge, which most people believe she's not going to get in a whole lot of trouble for that because she's already served 3 years now. So I don't think she's going to have to do any more jail time, even when she goes back to court in August. So yeah, that's why she had to pay to get out. If there wasn't a tampering with evidence charge, she would have just been able to walk out freely without paying, bail yesterday. But because she has that one charge that she was found guilty of, she has to return to court again, and she had to make bail yesterday. I think the bail was $15,000, but remember, you only have to pay 10%. So they said she only had to pay like $1,500 to get out yesterday. Her lawyers wanted her out yesterday, free of charge. They tried pleading with the judge that she's been in there for 3 years and just let her out now. The judge disagreed, so I think then Danielle later on made bail and paid to get out. But anyways, that's not really relevant or important. She was found not guilty of murder. The tampering with evidence charge isn't really a big deal, considering she's already been in jail for 3 years. I think the jury got it right. This jury, it was interesting. I think most juries are usually 12 people, 12 jurors. This juror was 6. It was only a 6-person jury. And she was found not guilty. The jury, they had 2 charges to go over. The jury found her not guilty of murder. And the second charge was, like I said, tampering with evidence. And they did find her guilty of that. So they found her guilty of tampering with evidence, not guilty of murder. That was the big one, the murder charge. If she would have been found guilty of murder, she probably would have done, I don't know, even second degree murder. She probably would have done like 20 some years, 30 years, maybe 25 years. But now it looks like she doesn't have to do anything. She's free pretty much. Essentially, she's free. And I don't really have a problem with it. I'm not against it. I'm not against the verdict. Um, After weighing out both sides, from what people have said about Mike, who was her husband, Mike Redlick, and then Danielle Redlick, um, it sounds to me like they both had just a horrible relationship during the entire 17 years that they were married. A lot of fights, a lot of violence. They both are drinkers. They both would drink a lot, get drunk, and hit each other. It just sounds like eventually something had to give. You're married to somebody for 17 years and you're both fighting constantly, and it's a toxic environment, toxic relationship. Um, Odds are, if a divorce doesn't happen, something bad's going to happen. In this case, murder happened. Well, technically, it's not murder. Someone died. She was defending herself. Um, he was attacking her again. She grabbed the knife. She stabbed him once. I think it was up in the shoulder region. Just one stab. Then she turned around, took off running, thought that he was still coming after her because she didn't assume that one stab wound to his shoulder area was going to kill him. Well, it did kill him. She obviously didn't plan on it, but she was defending herself. So um, I'm fine with the verdict. I'm actually fine with it. When I first heard about this case a few weeks back, I was kind of on the fence, and I kind of was on Mike's side, her husband. I thought, oh man, he was murdered by her, and she should pay for it. That was what my view was, my opinion. But then after doing more research on it and watching the trial for the past week, I definitely switched sides. I went from being more on his side to her side. Um, just it's just one of them things where you're in a toxic relationship and you're fighting all the time, and someone ends up dead or seriously hurt. You almost have to expect it. You can't be shocked about it and say, "Wow, I can't believe someone got hurt or killed." When they fought pretty much every day, it sounds like they always were fighting. Um, so kudos to the jury, the judge, the court system in Florida. This is in Orlando, Florida, where it happened at. I think they got it right. Um, you guys can let me know down below in the comment section here what you think, your opinion of the verdict. Should Danielle have got some time? Or was the verdict just right? Was it just? Was it a just verdict? Well, I gave you my take, my view, my opinion. I think the verdict was fine. And we are going to end this stream. I think I'm going to have to do a few more streams later this afternoon. Got some requests in the email section. So, and if you guys want me to make any streams just for you, request streams, just go to the About section, click on my email link, and email me. Send me an email. Let me know though it's to Justin Explains Everything, my YouTube channel. That way I know what the email is, and then type the question in the email. This was an email request. So about Danielle Redlick, I actually wasn't even going to do a video on Danielle Redlick, but I got the request. I thought, okay, I could do this. I did follow it a little bit. So yeah, I don't mind doing requests on various different subjects, sports related, conspiracy, law related, crime, politics. Yeah, I pretty much do streams on any topic. So that's going to do it for this stream. Guys, I appreciate the support, the likes, the subscriptions. When you guys subscribe, it really helps the channel out a lot. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell up in the corner. So yeah, that's going to do it. You guys have a great rest of your Saturday. Have a great weekend. It's a beautiful day here in Ohio. I hope it's beautiful wherever you guys are living. And that's going to do it. Take care, everybody. I'll see you guys on the next stream, and peace out.